Hey, it's me SB. Welcome back to my channel. So as you can see here, we are going to be making a teardrop little hanging basket. We are going to be working on this one for this video. So anyways, both of these are made with hobby ribbon yarn, and it is a 100% cotton yarn, or quick weight. So total, this is 2.9 ounces for this small one. You know, just in case you're curious. So the hook that I am going to be using is an H8 or a 5mm hook. It is definitely smaller than what is recommended. And yeah, if you don't want to use a smaller hook, you don't have to. You can use what is recommended. We are going to be working in double crochets and in the round. So we're going to start out with a magic ring or a magic circle or an adjustable ring, whatever you want to call it. We are doing a double crochet, so I chain 2 and then I simply work into my ring, and we are going to be working 12 double crochets, and that chain 2 does not count here and throughout. Okay, once you get your 12th stitch done, we are going to go ahead and close our ring. And if you're working it the same way as I do, I simply pull on the tail and I watch, because you're going to have 2 loops or 2 yarns coming out here, and I watch the yarn that starts to tighten. And it was this one here. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull from the left side if you're working right-handed. So the left side of the yarn, just give that a good tug and it'll start to tighten everything up. Now we have a nice closed circle. So now we are going to slip stitch to our very first stitch, remembering that our chain does not count. Excuse me, Neo's here. Now we are going to chain 2, 1, 2, and double crochet into the first stitch, into the same stitch that you slip stitched in. And that is our first stitch. And we are going to increase every single stitch, or place 2 double crochet into every stitch around. And this is going to give us a total of 24 stitches. Slip stitch to that first stitch. And let's go ahead and tighten up that slip stitch. And we are going to chain 2, and once again we're going to increase, so we are going to place 1 double crochet into that first stitch. Go ahead and move your marker up, and we are going to place 2 double crochets into that second stitch. And that's going to be the repeat pattern all the way around. So 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And you should have a total of 36 stitches all the way around. I think that this project works up so fast, simply because we are using a bulky yarn and a double crochet stitch. So it's just you're gonna be amazed at how fast you can make this. I think it probably takes me maybe 30 minutes to an hour to make one, a small one. Now if you're making a bigger one, it's definitely gonna take a little bit longer, but it works up so fast. And they're so dang cute. Right now I'm just debating on where to put them now. I'm like, I mean, you can never go wrong with storage, right? It's just where to put them. Back around, now you're gonna see that it's gonna start curling. But if it starts doing that, just give it a little tug and it'll kind of lay flat. As you can see, we are at, it's about 5 inches in diameter here. So that's for the small. This is where we're going to stop our increases. And if you were going to make it bigger, just continue increasing your flat circle until you get, you know, the diameter that you like. So now we are going to slip stitch to our first stitch, and we are going to start creating our shape. We are going to chain 2. Remember, chain 2 never counts in this pattern. And we're going to place 3 double crochets into our very first stitch. Go ahead and move your stitch marker to the first stitch. And now we are just going to double crochet all the way around until we reach the end. So now we are on to round 5. We are going to go ahead and join around, chain 2, double crochet into the first stitch, and then we are going to 3 double crochet into the next stitch. 2 and 3. All right, so now we are going to just double crochet all the way around back to the beginning. On to the next round. Remember, always join, chain 2. In this round, we are going to do 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 3 double crochet into the next stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. So now we're gonna simply just repeat the process of double crocheting all the way around to the beginning. So on to round 7. We are going to start doing some decreases. Yay! That means we're getting close to the end. So we're going to place 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches, and we're going to place 3 double crochets into 1 stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So I hope you're seeing the pattern developing here. So basically what we're doing is we are trying to keep our 3 double crochet increase in the center, and we're trying to keep it all in line so that way it's not shifting off to the side. So I realized while I was editing that I messed up on some of the counts in the pattern, and it's actually going to be 16 double crochet to the decreases, and then after that it's going to be 13 to finish up the round. I hope that makes sense. It's all on the screen and it'll be fixed in the written pattern if you so choose to go get that. Do your usual chain 2, 4 double crochets. So that's 1. 2, 3, 4. So basically you're gonna double crochet to the center stitch of your increases, and then we're gonna increase the same thing we've been doing, 3 double crochets into 1 stitch. Okay, and now we are gonna do 15 double crochet. So now we're gonna do our 3 double crochets 2 together. So we got our 3 decreases there. And now we're just gonna work all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so now on to round 9, and this is gonna be our last round basically, for the most part. So now we are just gonna simply single crochet around, so chain 1, single crochet all the way around. And at this point, this is where you would switch to your other color if you wanted to make it like this to have a pretty border around it. This is where you would do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and single crochet all the way around, all the way back around now, giving it a good tug here. Now we are going to slip stitch to our first stitch once again. Slip stitch into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a total of 5 slip stitches. And now we are going to chain 12. After you get your chain 12, you are going to slip stitch into the stitches right next to our last slip stitch. Oh my god, it's like a lot of slip stitching, but we're just going to go back into our work here. Slip stitch 1, slip stitch 2, and then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn the entire work, and we are simply going to work into our chain now. Personally, I am just going to go through the back loop of my chains. So you're just going to single crochet the same way you would working into a chain, working in that back loop, that little back bumpy. And you should have 12. I mean, if you don't have 12, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's just the little hanging loop thing. And this is just going to make it to where it's not going to be super stretchy, because I find that if I just use the chain, it tends to stretch out really bad, and this way, you know, it's a little more reinforced. So once you reach the end of your chain, go ahead and slip stitch into that next stitch, and you will be complete. And go ahead and fasten off. Leave a nice length if you want to add a little loop going around the bottom. And what you could do too is simply just single crochet around all of it, but I'm just going to cut mine and leave maybe like a foot of extra yarn here. And your little teardrop style basket is complete. It works up pretty fast, as you can see. And actually, they actually came out a little different. I think my tension was a little tighter on this one than what it was on this. But I have been using these, so they do stretch out quite a bit. But here it is, look how cute it is. Oh. So I'm gonna leave a little loop up at the top, just like this. And then I am simply going to wrap my tail thread around. So just keep going around and around until you are satisfied with how it looks. All right, I think that's good. And now I'm just gonna wrap or loop my tail through my little loop that I left at the beginning. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that tight to go around. And then what I'm gonna do is grab a tapestry needle and just feed it through the center and then lock it in place so that way it doesn't go anywhere. Pro tip, when you're working with like this ribbon type yarn, use a very blunted needle because you don't want it to go in between any of the threads, because if it does that, oh my god, you're gonna have a fun time trying to feed everything through. It is not something that I would wish on my worst enemy. That's why usually whenever I'm working with this yarn, I go opposite. Like I use the eye instead of the actual needle itself to weave these in. There we go. I think I'm satisfied with that. That's not gonna go anywhere. Also, another little pro tip, whenever you're trying to thread this ribbon type yarn, is to cut it at an angle. So just, you know, go through, cut it at a very steep angle, and then you'll be able to get it through your needle just a little easier. Yeah, that's my only qualms working with a ribbon, this particular ribbon yarn, is that sometimes it's a little difficult to work with. And there we go. Woohoo! complete. Look at that. Oh, I love the way it comes out. It comes out so cute. All right, and here we are. So I hope that you enjoyed this crochet tutorial and it taught you something. And how many are you gonna make? I've already made, obviously, 3 of them, and the big ones that I've made in the past. I mean, there's like an endless possibility of this. Like, you just make your own storage. I love it. The only thing is that you have to find places to hang them and display them. So that's, your whole wall can be full of them. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was informative and you enjoyed parts of it or you enjoyed all of it. Let me know in the comments down below what colors you are going to use to make this. And don't forget that the written pattern will be available in my coffee shop. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Catch you on the next video. Stay crafty. Bye.